Well, I'm a singer-songwriter, actress. I did my own sort of like music videos on my YouTube channel, and then that sort of transitioned into like my film and TV sort of career. Breathing in through the diaphragm is the way to support your voice when you're singing. I feel like many people just like live different lives. Even I'm honestly like I'll post pictures of me like outside like looking great or whatever while I'm like laying in bed. You have to really love it in order to keep up with it because it's a difficult career, and whether or not other people can relate. And when you see other people go through the same things and say, you know what, this song helped me through this dark time of my life, and yeah, seeing how people can connect and relate is really cool.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Be Frank Podcast, episode 38. Is that 38? All right, 38. It's been great having you guys back on the show. And then today we have a special guest from New York. And then she is a multi-talented person, musician, singer-songwriter, actress, Giselle Toress. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
So when did you get here?
I got here a few days ago, actually.
So you came here for the film, right?
Yeah. We've just been going at it every single day, but it's been fun.
So like whenever you guys have a premiere for a movie, like what do you guys do?
So it's mostly a lot of like press, like interviews. We talk about the film. We do a couple screenings. We just did a cast and crew screening recently. And then yesterday we showed it to a couple people in Tulsa. So it's just been a lot of fun, just like hearing the reception and the feedback from everyone.
That's awesome. Yeah. So you guys filmed in Oklahoma, right?
Yeah, we did.
Was that the first time you came to Oklahoma?
It was.
What was it like from New Yorker to come to Oklahoma?
Definitely like a huge change. Yeah. for sure. My allergies were really, really bad. But yeah, no, when we shot the film, it was mostly outdoors in the nature. So we were like constantly outside, like in the wilderness. So it was a lot of fun. We got to see a lot of different locations, and I love the people here. So it's been nice to be back.
Awesome. Let me ask you, like, people who are listening to this show who doesn't know about you, can you kind of introduce yourself? And I like to ask the question, like, if you're having a website and then if you have to write the bio today, what would that say?
I like that. Well, I'm a singer-songwriter, actress. I was born in New York, was raised in Florida, and I grew up doing musical theater, and then grew up doing sort of like music. I did my own sort of like music videos on my YouTube channel, and then that sort of transitioned into like my film and TV sort of career.
So you started music on YouTube?
Like I did.
Kind of like a Justin Bieber kind of vibe?
I did, yeah. I started it way back when I was like 9 years old. My mom opened the YouTube channel herself. It was like way back when it wasn't even like a thing. Like nobody even knew about it. And I was in this little like pop group with two other girls, and we would just like sing bilingual songs, and it was just really cheesy. It was really bad. Like even just the thought about remembering that is cringing.
But did you guys write the song and sing it too? Or?
We had original songs. We didn't write the songs though. Somebody else wrote them for us because we were really young. We didn't know how to do that. But yeah, no, my mom would dress us up in like these like neon costumes, and she would film us with her camcorder. And to this day, they've like racked up like millions of views. So it's crazy to think.
That's awesome. So did you guys always had like a million views, or like was that like you guys posted so many times and stuff?
No. When we first started, it was nothing, no views at all. But we went to the X Factor actually when I was 11, and that's kind of when it sort of took off.
How was that experience?
It was crazy. I mean, I was really young, so being able.
How old were you?
I was 11.
Oh,
I was
okay.
11. Yeah, I turned 11 when I was in the show. It was a lot. It was a lot of pressure for sure, and just being in that sort of environment. It's my first sort of like taste of this, industry. So it was a lot. It was a lot for an 11-year-old, but it was a lot of fun. It taught me so much, and I learned so much.
So after the X Factor show, like, did you kind of like got famous from that, or?
No, it wasn't even. It was more of just like people started like hearing about us, and they started like watching our videos. And then the other two girls, after we finished the show, they were like, I don't want to do this anymore. So they like dropped out. They didn't want to be in the group.
Why not?
They wanted to be like normal girls. They didn't want to do like, the videos on YouTube. They didn't want to do like constantly like, music. So it was just like they wanted to focus more on school and all of that. But I was like set on, no, this is what I want to do. So yeah, I started kind of doing my own thing, and that's kind of when it started taking off.
So when is like a time, or like do you have a song in your head that, okay, this song and this video I released and then this got to where you are today?
You know what? I was very consistent back then. When I was younger, I would post music videos like every 2 weeks, and I did a lot of covers. I remember I did this one cover of "Sorry" of Justin Bieber, actually, and that one I remember like after 2 days, it racked up like 10 million views and like
Damn.
crazy. Yeah, it was crazy, and that's kind of what shot up the channel.
Were you filming by yourself, or like you had a camera person?
I had a camera person, yeah.
Gotcha.
But by that point, I had a camera person.
Is that like you were already making money from it, or?
Yeah. When I was younger, yeah, definitely was. I was definitely making money from it.
Or that from the YouTube?
Yeah, from YouTube.
And then like brand deals and stuff was already a thing back then?
You know, I didn't do too many brand deals when I was younger, but it was definitely more from YouTube.
Yeah, got you. So like people who doesn't know how that YouTube make money, right? Like how's that YouTube can like pay you?
Yeah, so you monetize your videos based on the percentage of like views. So YouTube pays you like a certain amount per like 10,000 views or so. I feel like it used to be better back then. Now I feel like it's sort of declined. I don't know if anything's changed, or maybe I'm just not consistent anymore. People don't want to see my music.
No, I see like a lot of people like you know, been watching YouTube that like people's like views are declining.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah,
they
yeah.
focus on like I think podcast platform because it's like longer, they can put the ads more
Yeah.
or something like that. And then also like short content, like YouTube is pushing a shorts too. Do you post shorts too?
I do sometimes, but not as much as I'd like to. Yeah.
Yeah, and then so I guess that's why like some different kind of things, but you get views, and then like I was wondering like, you know, music video has like a, is that called VEVO?
Oh, Vivo. Yeah.
Is that like a kind of like you have to be like certified to be on there?
In a way, but I feel like it's more of just like every musician with like a record label usually goes through Vivo. It sounds more like official. It's more for like the watermark, honestly. It's not that big of a
like
deal.
Twitter has like, you know,
Yeah, it's like where the verification badge. Like it's not that big of a deal, but most of the artists use Vivo.
Yeah, so like how does musician like make money, I guess?
So it depends. There's several outlets they can make money. I mean, there's streaming, which isn't that great, but there's streaming, there's iTunes, YouTube. I mean, there's so many different outlets, but I think what's like really helping musicians right now is definitely like TikTok or YouTube. Even myself, I need to get on TikTok more because it's definitely starting like a lot of careers for a lot of new artists and making their songs heard.
Yeah, I mean, like people get like on YouTube and they post it, and then like I guess like I think Jay Kyle somebody. Like he's like was a TikTok musician, and he's like a Billboard top 10 or something like that. It's crazy.
No, it's crazy. I mean, back then it was YouTube. I mean, Justin Bieber started on YouTube, like all these artists started on YouTube, but now it's definitely TikTok. You don't even need a record label. You just have to post a TikTok of your song, and if it goes viral, then you know you're the next sensation.
Yeah. And then like TikTok is going crazy too. Like I heard that TikTok is banned in Montana. Did you hear that?
I didn't know. No, I did not know
so
that.
like Montana, state of Montana, they banned TikTok.
Wow. Why is that?
I think it's like censorship from like a Chinese government or something like that, and then they care about that stuff. And then I'm not sure how. Like, can you look it up, Izzy? Like why they? Why? Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of stuff. I thought that was crazy. But I heard that if you're in Montana, if you're trying to download it, you can't download it. If you have a business in Montana, you can't have the TikTok.
That's crazy.
But if you are somebody from out of state, already download it, use a TikTok to post in Montana, you can.
Oh, that's very interesting. Very weird.
Did you look it up?
Yeah, it was a government. It was like a legislator, like one guy signed a bill.
Yeah.
Wow. Happened it.
One guy.
Yeah.
That's all it took.
What do you think about those like TikTok like or like a controversial about like people like government censoring stuff?
I don't know too much about it, honestly. I enjoy using the app, but you know, I have no idea, you know, what I'm, it is very funny though, because sometimes I'll be like chatting with my friends about this new show that I want to go watch. And next thing I know, I'm pulling up TikTok and it's appearing on my feed. It's like as if it's, you know, it knows what I like. Yeah. So it is very interesting.
He listening to you. And
it's like listening to me. So it's a little sketch, but I still use it.
Yeah. And also like, you know, like Alexa probably listen to the conversation. I don't know how much, but you know, but we literally say, hey Alexa, turn on the lights or whatever, you know? So they probably know. But so tell me about like how you do write the music, right? And then you sing it, and then you kind of direct your music video too. Yeah. What does that kind of typical process look like?
So basically it starts with me sort of coming up with an idea to write a song. Most recently I did the EP, Sorry to Feature Me, and that was more of like a 5-part story. So I kind of had like a story in mind when writing the songs. And kind of like when I write the songs, I kind of want to set the same sort of tone for all of them. And for that one specifically, all of them sort of like interconnect in order to tell the story. And so basically I write the songs, I record them in my house. I have a little studio.
You record it yourself?
That's awesome. That one specifically I recorded in my bedroom. It's like literally with a mic. And then I send it over to my producer, and he sort of just like comps the vocals and masterizes it. And then once I have the tracks, I start working on the ideas and the concepts for the music videos, and kind of work with my mom. She's kind of like my team with me, and we sort of come up with like the locations, the team for it. But it's usually like a very small like crew, you know, it's just us.
What inspires you to write a song? Is that like, so because music is your career, right?
Yeah.
So like, do you have in your head, like I always wonder like, okay, once a year I have to put up this many songs, or like, is that like day to day you're like a living, and then like, oh, I have this idea, I gotta work on it, I'm gonna work on it. Like, what is that process?
It's definitely more like that. I don't have like any sort of like guideline of how many songs I want to do. It's more of like whatever I'm experiencing, whatever I'm living, that's what inspires me to write.
You like write it down to like a yellow notepad or something?
Yeah, or in my notes. Like if I'm going through something, I'll just like write it down, or like I'll record a voice memo on my phone and it'll turn into something later. Yeah,
then when you write it, do you like show it to your like director, producer, or like is that like you show it to your friends, or like
Yeah, no, once I have like a demo, I show it to my producer and I get his thoughts, and then he helps me kind of like with the arrangement for it.
Yeah, they will like rewrite the song, or like...
Yeah, sometimes he'll give me like ideas for a different hook or like a different verse, and we'll kind of collaborate. But most of the times I just like send it to him and he'll just like add on the music to it.
So do you have a record label?
I do not. I'm independent.
Huh.
Yeah.
What I don't understand at all, like a record label versus independent. Like what is the like a benefit, pros and cons, or
yeah,
whatever?
So when you're independent, you definitely have more freedom. You know, you don't have sort of like a deadline for any tracks. You can release as much as you want, which is what I do. And I freely create whenever I can and release whenever I can. So I think that's definitely a pro, being independent, and you are the sole owner of all your music. On the contrary, when you're in a record label, they're the ones who own it. And they sort of like, you know, give you like a term. For these next 6 months, you're going to release a song. And then if that does well, then okay, we'll give you like 2 songs in the next 6 months. So it's not like, you know, you can do whatever you want.
Huh, that makes sense. And then, but if you have a record label, they will like help you market and stuff.
For sure. And then definitely the pros is they definitely put in a lot of money to market. They put all the money for music videos. You don't have to do it yourself. On the contrary, independent, it's all in your hands.
But independent, so you make all your money, but you have to, if you're
invest it yourself.
Yeah. Music video, you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
And then you direct yourself on the music video. That's impressive. Like I was watching your stuff, like it's super impressive. And
Thank you.
How did you go to school, or did you just learn from YouTube?
Yeah, no, I didn't actually. I didn't go to school. My training was definitely starting at 9 years old on YouTube. Just watching my mom, honestly. So my mom, she's a musical theater director.
Oh, okay.
So I grew up doing that, and I grew up watching her sort of like bossing everyone around and taking control. And then when we started doing YouTube, she was the one who would, you know, film us with her little camcorder because we didn't have anyone else. So yeah, definitely just grew up like watching, and then also, you know, I'm an actress, so being on set, I remember just growing up, I'd just watch. I would stay on set even if I didn't have to work that day, and I would just learn from the director, and that's sort of how I caught on. But yeah, no school.
You have a director, you don't direct your stuff, or?
I'm sorry?
Do you direct your like music videos?
I do direct all my music videos.
Do you say you have a director or something?
Oh, no, when I'm working on like an acting project, for example, like a movie like this one, for example.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So like curious, like whenever you do like your own music video, right? Then you're directing yourself. Like how do you direct yourself?
It's funny. Well, when I'm like sort of writing it, I kind of already know how I want it to look. Like when I'm coming up with the concept, it's like I have the image in my head already, and I know. So like when I'm directing the DP, I tell him like this is the kind of shot that I want for this. And then when there are other actors, I sort of direct them and tell them, you know, what's happening in the scene and how I want it to look. But when it's me, I just kind of do what I think is right because like I don't really have any guidance.
Do you like watch like a playback all the time? Say, hey, okay, I have to like do this, do that, and then like it's in your head.
Yeah, for sure. That definitely helps.
So like, do you not have like somebody tell you what to do?
Yeah, so my mom will definitely watch the footage and she'll be like, hey, like maybe try this or something. But there's definitely a lot of freedom when you're the one sort of like in control and directing.
Yeah. You do it all.
Yeah.
So like what kind of the acting gig like you like to do?
Well, I love being part of projects that can combine music as well into the acting because I'm a musician, and being able to combine that is like a really big part for me. So this film that we're promoting, actually, What Rhymes with Reason, I got to actually sing in it, so it was really, really special.
Oh, I'm excited to watch it. I'm gonna actually watch it tonight for the first time.
Okay, I'm excited to see what you think.
Yeah, and then like, what is that? What is this movie is about?
So this film is about a group of teenagers who go on a quest to find a legendary landmark in the wilderness. And throughout this journey, together, they navigate this darkness within themselves. So it's a film that centers around difficult themes like mental health issues and things that I think are very, very important for youth and teens right now. And I think it's very, very necessary. And I play Rena. She's this quirky, weird, outcast singer-songwriter girl. She's very different, and I relate to that because even growing up, when I was doing all of like the YouTube stuff and doing my music, you know, I was made fun of a lot, and because I was very different, nobody was doing that at the time. So it was very cool to kind of embody that in her.
Like people were saying like, oh, she's just doing like trying to be somebody or whatever. Yeah,
you know, nobody really got it. It was during a time. I mean, now like people would be like, "Oh, that's so cool," you know, because everybody's on TikTok, everybody's doing it now. But back then, it was weird. Yeah. It was weird, and I definitely got like bullied for it. It was very difficult because it was like I love doing it, but I would go to school and nobody was doing it. So it was definitely.
What got you through that? Like, did you tell them to like? Did you just ignore that, or what was what?
It was definitely the views that definitely helped. Because I remember starting off, it was like hard, but then people actually started watching. People actually cared about it, cared about watching it. So then soon, like, you know, kids at school were like, oh wait, maybe she's actually doing something. Like maybe she's actually not that weird.
Yeah. I think that's a hard time, right? Because like I started like YouTube because like I did. Like I started my business first, and then like okay, like I started watching YouTube like for real. Like oh, people do vlog, you know?
Yeah.
Like I didn't know that till like 3-4 years ago. And then I started watching it, and then like it's honestly saved my life, you know? Like yesterday, I had a conversation with a guy whose name is Max Tuning. I was following him. You know, candy called South Strips.
No, I don't.
It's this one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this candy. Oh, but anyways.
Sour strips.
Yeah, the sour strips. But yeah, I met. He was on the guest yesterday, and it was thrilled because I've been watching him on the like a show, you know. And then like I'm just gonna put it down. Yeah. So I started doing that vlog or whatever, and then like. You know, when you go outside or like you're filming and then like you're posting stuff and then like some people like I can see like some people kind of watching me, you know, and like that guy's like trying too hard or whatever, you know what I mean? Like so like I was like wondered like because you're like already big star, you know what I mean? So like whenever you have like a big crew or something like that on the film set, you might feel that, or do you feel that kind of stuff or when you're acting?
Well, I definitely don't think I'm a big star. But no, I think, yeah, it's definitely weird. But I think I've just gotten used to it because it's just like just what I've been doing for my whole life. So it's definitely like easier. But at first, it was definitely weird.
So like, I think that who does inspire you to like make music, or who does inspire you to do this kind of career?
Well, it definitely stems from my mom. I know you keep talking about her, but yeah, no, she inspired me since I was a child, growing up doing musical theater. That's kind of where it all started for me. That was sort of like the base of everything. Even when I was a child, I wanted to be on Broadway. That was my ultimate goal. Now it's sort of like deviated, but yeah, that's definitely, she got me into training since I was a child.
Yeah, like what is it like a training looks like? Like singing lessons and
yeah, singing lessons. I mean, when I was younger, it was ballet, it was jazz, it was tap, musical theater, singing classes. I did competitive dance for a year. I did opera, and at the same time doing film and TV. So
how do you get better at singing? Like if you do you go to karaoke ever?
I actually went last week.
Really?
Yeah.
So like you hear like some people right, and then like I mean they're having a good time. I think that's most important things. But you probably hear somebody's like, oh, they should do this or they should do that. Like, do you think about that or?
You know what? Not as much as I think. But I think when I'm watching a show, for example, like a Broadway show, I definitely pay attention to like people's technique and how they project their voice.
So like, what is the like best technique to project your voice?
I think it's definitely training for sure.
How do you train?
So taking vocal lessons, the first thing they'll teach you is that the core of your voice comes from your diaphragm, which is something that most people don't know. And then when you breathe in, you have to kind of push out while you're singing. And then like, so it's sort of like reverse. So when you breathe in, you have to like push out your stomach. And then like on the contrary, as a normal person, when you breathe in, you just kind of go like, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like you breathe in the chest.
Right.
But breathing
in through the diaphragm is the way to support your voice when you're singing.
And then when you're singing, do you put it in your stomach goes expand or like a?
Yeah, so that's the breath control in order to sort of last.
So in order for hold it?
Right, yeah, in order for your voice to sort of like hold the note or be able to project and sing, you need to have good breath control. And then they'll teach you other things, but you know, like that all comes in the basics of, you know, singing lessons. And
yeah, I always wonder like what do they do? You know, like it's like, do you believe like a singer, like a good singer, like who's your favorite singer?
I love Taylor Swift.
Okay. Yeah. So do you think that Taylor Swift is like you know, like for example, like a basketball, for example, like if it's like Michael Jordan, they say like I'm like 1% of talent, 99% of dedication or whatever. Yeah. But I believe he got super talent, right? Yeah. But whenever you're looking at Taylor Swift, what do you think about, do you think her talent or like, do you think that's like a dedication?
I definitely think it's both for sure. She's a genius when it comes to songwriting. She's been someone I've looked up to since I was a kid, but it's definitely dedication because you have to really love it in order to keep up with it, because it's a difficult career and it's a difficult industry. So you have to love it with everything in you.
Why do you think Taylor Swift is so popular?
because I think her lyrics resonate with a lot of people. I think they're very different and unique. They're not like typical songs, and that's what I love. I mean, I could never write like that. The way she writes is very, very unique.
That's awesome because of I heard that so many people. I guess Taylor Swift's concert tickets is so high.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Have you ever went to her concert?
I've been once, and I went to the Speak Now tour when I was younger. It was actually the only concert I've ever been to. That one and an Ariana Grande concert. But yeah, no, she's incredible.
But they said like somebody was here like recently, and then they say the Journey and the Taylor Swift is the best concert, like hands down or whatever.
Yeah.
And I saw that like a social media post the other day. Some girl posted on the eBay or something like a contact lens that she watched the Taylor Swift concert. She took it out dry contact lens.
No, you're lying.
It's $10,000.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess like that good, but I don't know who will buy some fans contact lens.
Yeah, I thought maybe it could have been Taylor Swift. So I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I don't know, like the fan or whatever. But
yeah.
Do you get like something like that from your fans?
No, definitely not. Definitely not like that. But I did do a few concerts when I was younger in Mexico. I did sort of like a little tour, and so it was really cool kind of seeing it for the first time. Because, you know, when you upload videos and you see all the views and you see people are commenting and liking it, it's very, very different than being on stage and seeing those people in real life and them singing your songs and you know, like connecting with it. It's a whole different experience. So it was really, really cool.
Do you ever get like nervous before you go into the a stage?
Definitely. I think before getting on stage, for sure, all the nerves are,
like,
are there.
So like people, like some people say like like imagine like audience as like a naked or something. Imagine audience.
My
like
mom would always say that. She would say that, or imagine they're like pooping. That would just like take all the nerves out.
Is that what you do?
Yeah, just imagine. She's like, you don't even know them. Like, just imagine they're like pooping. It's terrible.
So like, what's like? Did you like get used to it? Like all the like, so you keep doing like playing on the show and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So like, you get used to it. Like, is that like what was the most like a biggest show you ever done?
Biggest show. Well, I did the concerts in Mexico, but I did a performance actually for the Pope in Mexico, and that was over 250,000 people. It was like this outdoor kind of thing, and I sang this original song. So that was definitely the biggest.
How's that make you feel? I bet like you in front of singing, you're singing in front of so many people, and then they're cheering for you or something like that. I always wonder how's that feel.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. Yeah. But I did try to like block it out. Honestly, I don't really remember most of it. Yeah. I was really young and it was a lot for me. But yeah, no, it was really cool. Definitely nervous before getting on stage, but once you get on stage, it's just like numbs away.
Do you like a self-talk and stuff before you go to the show?
I don't know if I do. I think it's just more of like I just like take a deep breath and try to just focus.
So you say you have to love it, right? Like do a singing career and an acting career. Why do you love it?
Why do I love it? Well, I think music is just the way I speak. It's like when I can't find the words, I write music. And whatever I'm going through, whatever moment in my life, I always turn to music, and it's kind of the way that I cope with all of it. So it's not even that it's like I want to be like an artist. It never started out as I want to be an artist, I want to be famous, I want to get the views. It was never that. It was just that I loved it so much, and it just so happened that I decided to share it with the world, but it wasn't ever those intentions. It was just because I was so passionate about it, and I think that's the most important. If you want to get into it, you should do it because you love it, not because you want to become TikTok famous or want to go viral, because that's not a realistic end game. I think it's do it because it fills you and it makes you happy.
Yeah, I think that totally makes sense. And then, I mean, I'm enjoying this podcast and all that kind of stuff. I get to talk to like somebody I don't know. We just met. Yeah. And also like people like I know for a long time, and their career path is going so great, and then I wanted to learn from, and then I'm enjoying this process, and then sometimes views down or whatever, just like
Yeah, no, totally. And it's like, it can take control sometimes of your mind, and you can lose sort of focus on what's your goal. Because at the end of the day, I'm sure you love doing podcasts, I'm sure you love doing this, but I don't think the views should be definition of your happiness. I think that should be because you love doing it.
Yeah, like a byproduct of happiness or whatever, right? And then like, what do you think about people who like hides Instagram likes count?
Hides Instagram like? I do that. I do that. Honestly, I think that's a cool feature because I feel like a lot of people, especially during this time with social media, are, defined by their likes and are defined by who they are on social media. And I feel like many people just like live different lives. Even I'm honestly like, I'll post pictures of me like outside, like looking great or whatever while I'm like laying in bed, like it's just like no one really knows what's actually going on in someone's life. And you only see this one image and you only see this one little glimpse and you think, oh, that's reality, when it's not. And I think that social media has definitely made that worse for this generation.
That's interesting because you're the artist, you put it up that you post stuff to kind of people to see, right? And then this is your career, so you want people to follow it, right?
Right.
It's like a part of it is like you're not putting everything because you wanted to hold your privacy and your personality and then protect yourself.
Absolutely.
Right? So where do you kind of draw the line?
I think that I don't think that I'll ever, fully show everything on social media. I don't think anyone does. I think that we all hold back a little piece of ourselves because it's just how it is. But I think music is the one thing that will always remain authentic to me. It's something that stems from, realness and something that I've gone through. So I think that music is the one thing that I can say, this is fully me, and I'm not trying to be anything, which is why I love doing it.
Is that people can relate to you because you are such an authentic writer, and then you make actually like, I thought that was genius. You just do movies too to like help support your music. I mean, music video itself kind of supports it, but you have like a movie aspect of it. Mm-hmm. Was that like idea came, like how did you, like somebody told you, like, or how did you come up with that idea?
How did I come up with that idea? So funny, that's actually a real life story that happened to me. I lived through something like that similarly in like a previous relationship. So that sort of like inspired me to write those songs. And then, it wasn't all exactly, I sound psycho right now, but no, it wasn't exactly like that. But it definitely stemmed from that. And I got that idea. And then I was writing all these songs throughout the relationship. Then I realized, wow, like this could all become a story. And I started kind of piecing it together. And I thought that it would be awesome to tell it in Brooklyn. And pretty much.
How's that like? So like you're, singer and actress, right? Like how's like a relationship wise, do you like always like kind of find a partner in the like same industry, or like is that kind of like, because I was thinking because the YouTuber or like even like I'm a small business owner, it's kind of like some people doesn't really understand my lifestyle because it's like, well, I have a freedom, but also I do have a responsibility. And then sometimes I have to work weekends or I have to travel around, and then I have a responsibility, I have a freedom, but it's kind of different than people who are working 9 to 5, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you're like here in Oklahoma right now. And then I'm pretty sure you live in New York, but you travel around to film or do music, right? Mm-hmm. So typical people probably not understand. I don't know, but like, what's your take on like dating?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely. It's not that I've chosen to be with people in my industry. It just has happened like that. When you're so focused on your work and you're constantly like working on set or working on projects, those are the people that you're mostly surrounded with. And I guess like you're right, you know, it's people who can understand your industry and people who can relate to you, and it definitely helps a lot because you know, someone who has never heard anything about this sort of industry would be taken aback when they hear about everything. But yeah, no, I think that's my take on it. Yeah.
Do you ever dated somebody who are not in the movie industry?
I have, yeah.
Yeah. Was that like a kind of had an issue like that, or?
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely a little bit weird. Just because it's hard to, you know, it's two different lives, and it's hard to, connect in a way.
Like, because I always wonder, like, because like you make a music videos and something like that, and then like, all right, so you're like maybe like an actor, like you have like maybe kiss scene or something like that. Like, how do you tell your significant other? So, hey, I'm gonna go.
Absolutely.
No,
that's definitely a big part. That's definitely a big part for sure. You can't. They wouldn't understand. You know, they wouldn't understand. I've never been in that situation though. I haven't. I haven't. But yeah, it's definitely easier when they're in the industry.
Oh yeah, I bet. Like, I was curious about that, and then like I'm just like, what do they say? Because of like all the actors, I don't know. Ashton Kutcher, Mila Kunis, like they marry, but like they met on set, but they have a different movie, and then you know they kind of like have a kiss scene, all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
I was curious, like how they talk about that, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm curious. I honestly have not been in that situation yet.
I guess that's good then.
Yeah. I am dating an actor right now, who's actually in the film.
Yeah.
He's actually right there.
Maybe you come on.
But yeah, we met on set of this film, so I guess, you know, that's how it happens.
So what does he think? So if she has a kiss scene, what do you think?
I think this is actually, we've had this conversation.
Hey, it's the job.
It's a job that he said. I think
It's a
that's the
job.
main thing to say, yes, for sure. And then vice versa. He has a kiss scene, what do you think?
It's the job. You know? You're turning down that job.
What do you think of, so you working on something on Disney?
Yeah, so it's this show called Villains of Valley View. I play this like mean, popular girl. Very opposite of this film, but yeah, it's been fun. I go to LA every month, shoot an episode. Yeah.
How's that travel and then travel around the world? Like, how's that? Is that exciting for you, or like?
Yeah, it's really funny because I actually lived in LA for 5.5 years. And then the moment I moved to New York is when they're like, oh, you're going to work on this show now. And it's like, now I have to go back to LA. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's been cool. I think that working on acting projects that take you to different locations is always a lot of fun.
That's interesting because like a lot of people say, hey, you go to either LA or New York, right? For doing like a big arts and like film or actress, right? What's the difference? Like being in LA and then New York, like which one do you like?
I feel like I'm definitely more New Yorker. I love both. I do love both. I mean, I would have definitely stayed in LA. I think it was just more with COVID and the whole quarantine. I guess the situation changed where everything now is self-tape. So you don't really have to be going into the room. And I always wanted to be in New York. I feel like I definitely connect more with the people there and the culture. I feel like people in New York are just who they are, you know, and they're not trying to be anything. And in LA, sometimes it can get a little bit lost with the people that you surround yourself with. But I love both, you know, and I can't say anything negative about either. But yeah.
Yeah, it's like I heard like New York. I'm going to LA. I think next 2 weeks from now. I'm going to San Diego and then Santa Monica. Then my friend got go into growlings, like for like a comedy stuff and then like a improv. So I'm gonna go watch and support him, and then I think that should be fun. And then, but I think I heard like LA is like a lot of people trying to be actors and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then New York is kind of same thing, and then and then I think it's crazy because it's a beach and they also like maybe cold,
Yeah, definitely a lot of differences. I feel like both places people are trying to strive to be something, which is cool.
Do you think that like whenever like you're trying to be actor, do you think people has to go to LA to New York, or like what's your take on?
I think back then, before the pandemic, yeah, it was you had to be in LA in order to be in the room and for casting directors to get to know you. But I feel like times have changed now, and it really doesn't matter where you are, because at the end of the day, the casting director is at their house and they're looking at self-tapes from people from all over the world. So yeah, I don't think it really matters right now.
So you're independent on the actress job too, or do you have an agent?
I have an agent and manager.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So like it's a lot of people ask me like, because like I do commercial, like not your scales and stuff, but like, I do commercial and I cast people and all that kind of stuff. And then all the actors like, how can I get more job? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then like, I'm like, well, you probably should post more,
Yeah.
like, because like I literally go to my Facebook sometimes and say, I gotta cast like somebody,
Yeah,
or like
yeah.
Instagram. Okay, this person look like it's gonna work out, Sometimes, and then if I know somebody already, it's easier to contact them. So I just contact it that way. But as you're professional and then you're getting like Disney shows and all that kind of stuff, and then how can people be successful to get a job, acting gig?
Well, if you don't have an agent or manager, then there are many websites where you can sign yourself up, like Actors Access, Backstage, Casting Networks.
Use it?
Starting out, I did. Yeah, that's. I mean, that gets you on set. Even doing a student film will help you get on set and get experience and get a reel and all of that. So I think if you're starting out and you want to be an actor, that's definitely the way to go. And then once you sort of have a bit of experience, you can look for an agent and manager, either in the Southeast or LA. But
did you ever change your casting agent, or like did you already?
yeah, I did. I started out with a youth agent when I first moved to LA, and then I transitioned to a different one now.
Do you find out like a good agent versus like maybe need to improve agent, whatever?
Yeah, I think it just depends. I did move to LA and I was doing more of like kids stuff, and the department I was in like centered more. The agent I was in, she centered more into like kids shows and all of that, and I kind of want to transition more into out of that. So I looked for an agent who does more of like all around.
Gotcha. Yeah, because like sometimes I get like a conversation with actors and all that kind of stuff. Like they say like, oh, my agent doesn't do anything for me. Like, and then like sometimes I just think about, is that an agent problem, or like maybe you're not putting the work,
Yeah, no, that happens a lot. I mean, there are times where, auditions will be slow, and they won't be coming in as much, so the agent won't send them. But yeah, if the agent isn't sending you like a lot, then, it's time to
move on. To
yeah, if they haven't sent you in like a good 6 months, then that's a good.
How often do you audition?
Normally I audition like at least like 4 times a week.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's a lot of audition.
Yeah, but it depends. I mean, right now I haven't been auditioning at all. Yeah. With the whole writer strike and everything that's been going on.
So what's the process like? Do you like read all the script first and then you wanted to audition, or like you audition like a kind of like a agent will say, hey, you trust agent, say, hey, you should audition for this. All right, you got it, and kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the agent will send you the audition, and then you as the actor look through the script, look at the sides, and then you tell them whether or not you want to do it, and then you send them a self-tape.
You read the whole script?
I should. I don't. Sometimes I don't.
Because the script is long, right? Like,
They are long.
Like
They're long.
Like what, 200 pages?
Yeah,
maybe?
and then when it's a quick turnaround, it's like hard to, read the full script and then like process it and then shoot the self-tape. But
Yeah, that'd be kind of sad, right? Because like you read the whole thing. Oh, I don't want to audition for this.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, what is your like the day to day look like? Like as an actor, singer, like what is kind of like how do you live your day? Like what kind of like what do you like to do outside of like I guess music or?
Gosh, that depends. I mean, I feel like every day is always different for me. I don't have like a set schedule, but it honestly involves most of the time like writing. I'm actually also sort of focusing more on like behind the scenes, like writing scripts and pitching projects right now. So definitely working on that. As well as music. It's just like it's taken over my life at this point. But yeah.
Is there something you can share, like a next project you're working on?
Well, they're all ideas that I'm sort of like developing right now, and I just love the aspect of creation and you being the one in control of what story you want to tell. Because you as an actor, you get the job and you kind of have to do what everyone tells you, and that's just how it is. The role is written for you, the story is written for you, but it's kind of cool when you can create it yourself.
Yeah. So like whenever I can kind of relate to like I love like working on the like making a video or like being making a commercial or something, brand piece or something like that. I imagine it, and then like like kind of like you have an editing timeline in your head, and then you kind of like okay, I need to shoot this and all that kind of stuff. And if it's like closer to my vision, if that comes true. And it's just something about it. It's very satisfying.
Yeah.
But also that kind of commercial is like air on TV or air on social media, and then become some business was struggling, and then they became like they made it like 50% sales went up like a next month or something like that, and then they didn't have to close the store or something. That happened to me once, and then like. I felt that that was such a like a good moment for me, because like something I created that helped somebody's life, and then that meant a lot for me. That's why kind of I like doing like marketing work for some like a business and stuff like that. Yeah. But like I was curious that you were saying like you love making those kind of stuff, but also like, do you ever get comments from like a people then say, hey, you saved my life and all that kind of stuff? Yeah. Is that like a part of the things that you like? Like, I guess like both probably you like, but like, do you have anything like that?
Yeah. I mean, like you said, I think it all changes when you can really see the impacts you can make on other people. Like, the marketing job that you did. But yeah, no, I have gotten comments like that, and it's really crazy because you write these songs and it's something that you're going through and you have no idea whether or not other people can relate. And when you see other people go through the same things and say, you know what, this song helped me through this dark time of my life, and it really opens your eyes, and it's so special. But yeah, seeing how people can connect and relate is really cool.
It's kind of like, oh, I didn't know this would happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the whole reason I do it now. It's more of just like, most of the time, these songs are personal. They're things about me, and the reason I want to share is because I know that there are people out there who will resonate and that will connect to it.
Yeah, that's what sometimes I do struggle. Sometimes it's like, okay, I'm putting out this kind of content. Am I just doing for myself or like doing for other people? Is that which is good, or like is that just both good? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, do you ever think about that, or?
Like whether or not it's good?
Like whether you're just doing for yourself to like grow yourself, right? Mm-hmm. Is that kind of like take it as like that's a good thing, or that's like a selfish reason? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. You're taking, your art and you want to succeed in it. I think there's definitely a part, for sure. When you're releasing the music, obviously you're investing your time and you're investing your money. You want to see it succeed. Right. So that's definitely in my mindset, for sure. But it's definitely not the goal. And I think that what has maintained me not feeling selfish about that or guilty is always maintaining the goal, just releasing the music because I love doing it and because it makes me happy, and seeing other people connect to it. That's the goal. Not it skyrocketing with millions.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. I love that. I mean, I was like the other day, like I was like kind of having a hard time or whatever. I needed like help, and like I was at the bar and I was talking to my friends, and then he was talking to me about like, yeah, you know, like I'll be happy, and then like, you know, I got family, you know, kids and all that kind of stuff. They grow up or whatever. But you know, my life goal is like, you know, drink a beer in every continent. That was like his life goal.
Wow.
I was like, okay, that goal has like quite a bit of like a depth to it.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, he likes a beer, but also he likes to travel around the world. And then that means that he have a freedom, so he's financial stable, whatever, right? So I was like, that's a good goal, I guess.
It is a good goal.
But what is your life goal?
I honestly, I think it stems back to always remaining true to myself and making sure that whatever it is that I do, I'm always happy. Whether or not it's in this industry, it doesn't matter, as long as it fills me.
Perfect. And then I ask every guest come here the same question on the end of segment. I think that people are expert of a lot of things, but people are very expert of yourself. So that I like to ask the question like, what advice do you give yourself 5 years ago? So 2018 is 5 years ago. What were you doing in 2018?
I was in Mexico touring. I think I would tell myself I would give myself grace. I would tell myself to be patient and to know that I'm not a regular 15-year-old. You know, I definitely don't live a normal life, and to give myself grace and know that my songs will eventually have an impact, and just keep doing it. Just keep doing it because you love it.
Perfect. How do you see yourself in 5 years?
Hopefully directing more. I want to do a bit more behind the scenes. I feel like I want to test the waters a little bit more. Directing, hopefully getting a couple of the projects I'm developing off the ground and releasing more music.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then like, I was, you know, because of, hopefully that, you know, I've been doing this podcast, and then this is 39, eight. And then 5 years from now, I would like to email everybody or contact everybody, say, hey, how you doing?
Oh, wow.
And then say, hey, can you kind of send me a quick email to yourself 5 years ago? So that'll be today, right? Wow. And then can you send me your like current picture? So then like I will have, hopefully you will send me a 5 years ago picture of yourself, and then we'll have picture today, and then picture from 5 years from now, I guess. And then I kind of want to make a coffee table book.
Oh, wow. That's very
like
cool.
Called like a life or something.
Wow.
Maybe you will come up with a title than me.
I'm excited for that.
So I think that would be like, you know, 5 years, because if I do every week, that'd be 250 people. Hopefully 100 people will get back to me, and then I can make a book, you know?
That's really cool.
Yeah. But so today we cover a lot of things, but anything else you wanted to share or you wanted to talk to your audience about, whatever?
You know what? No, I've had a blast being here with you, honestly. I've had a lot of fun. And yeah, it's been nice to be here in Oklahoma. I really hope you like it.
That doesn't sound good. no, Oklahoma.
In Oklahoma.
I mean, Oklahoma is not bad.
Does that sound like I'm lying? I'm not. It's actually, I really enjoyed it. But yeah, I hope you like the film tonight. I'm excited to see. Yeah, and hopefully the audience can catch the film at some point this year.
Yeah, where it's gonna be?
We have no idea yet. I do know they're, you know, shopping around, so we'll see.
Do you watch every film you're in?
I do. Yeah. I don't rewatch it though. Yeah. We've been having to rewatch it several times.
You have to watch it tonight too?
Yeah. But it's been cool. We've been like nitpicking like little things that we see.
So as you wanting to be a director, so do you tell like Kyle, say, hey, you wish you did that stuff or something like that?
No, I definitely don't do that. But yeah, I have like talked to Kyle about like some shots or some things like that. And,
Yeah. That's awesome. So where can people find you?
yeah, you can find me on social media. Any Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I'm under Giselle Toress.
Spotify, iTunes,
Yeah,
whatever.
you know, all of those.
All those, and then I will just link all that stuff and down there stuff. Well, thank you guys for coming, watching this show. And then if you're on the YouTube, please like and comment, and then subscribe. And then if you are listening on the podcast, Spotify or iTunes or something like that, please give me a 5-star. I'm not sure what it does, but I'm pretty sure it do a good things for us. So, well, thank you guys for coming, and then we'll see you guys next Friday. Peace.
Thank you.